All right, we are live.
Yes. All right, Madam Clerk, call a roll and call to order.
Roll call, Mr. McClung,
I'm here.
Mr. Meyer,
Yes, I'm here.
Ms. Moyer. Here. Mr. Holyfield.
Here.
Mr. Avanzino is absent with notice this evening, and Ms. Gruning.
All right.
Here.
All right, stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Get a motion to approve the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda. Oh, well, I'd like to add something.
Mr. Mayor, I have a couple adjustments to the agenda.
Okay. Okay.
I'd like to take away UB6. We have a workshop this coming Wednesday at 3 o'clock on the proposed permanent entertainment district. I don't see a need to discuss it tonight.
Okay.
And also, since Mr. Avanzino is not here, he's UB4, second event banner location. I don't know if we want to remove that since he's not here. He's the one who wants to talk about it, so.
Say that again, Steve. Which one?
Mr. Avanzino, the unfinished business 4, it's that second event banner location. He's been talking about it, but if he's not here, I don't know.
Now,
Scratch it.
Okay.
scratch it. I'd like to add maybe a proposal, a resolution to hire an abstractor to find where all the city property is.
That's been taken up under a separate order of business with the Planning Commission.
Okay.
Being put out, so we don't need to discuss that. All right. Anything else? All right. We got 2 items to remove from the agenda. Unfinished business number 4, the second event banner, and also unfinished business number 6, the proposed permanent entertainment, which will be taken up on Wednesday. All those in favor of the amended agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so moved. All right, get a motion to approve the minutes for March 9th.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. McClung and Mr. Myers seconded. Any additions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor of the minutes as submitted, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We have a planning application by Ennis Medley for position 2. Is she up for a vote, or did we bring this up last time? I didn't catch that.
No, she was not discussed last time.
Okay.
No, we just got it.
But we did have Catherine Pilgrim Lopez. We had her last time, so we can vote on her. You have her.
HDC.
Oh, okay. All right, well, we'll jump on down then. Next time, we'll bring up with Ms. Medley on that. We do still have vacancies in CAPC and the hospital, and we've got Catherine Lopez application that was submitted last time
Right.
for HDC. Do I hear a motion?
I move to accept Catherine Pilgrim Lopez's application for HCC position number 5.
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of Catherine Pilgrim Lopez for position 5, HDC, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Also, mention, I guess, do we have a vacancy in cemetery?
No.
It's on
No,
there.
we
Okay.
do not.
All right. Public comments, please limit your time to 3 minutes if we have some. Have anybody for public comment?
First up is Heather Huber. Hubbard.
I'm a little short. Should I lower this? How's this? Is it good? Hi, guys. I'm Heather Huber. I live in Eureka Springs. I've lived in the Eureka Springs area since 1980. My first paid job as what I thought was a professional was at the Basin Park Hotel when I was 14, making 65 cents an hour. It was great. And I now live in the historic district, and I love this town very, very much. And of course, the unfinished business 6 is now not on the agenda tonight, but that is what I'm here to speak about. I won't be here on Wednesday, to my knowledge. I don't really know what I want to say to you that you don't already know. I think what I want to say is that an open container law in Eureka Springs is a really bad idea for a myriad of reasons. I'm a thinker. I'm always thinking. I think it's a bad idea because we have free-range children on our streets. We have people who have conservative religious views that are really uncomfortable with public drinking. We have unsafe streets in terms of pedestrians. We have unsafe sidewalks. We have crazy staircases. I own a building. Well, I don't own the building. I own a business downtown that is on a staircase. It's a platted city street. You were talking about wanting to know what city properties are. Basin Spring Avenue is a city property, and yet it is a staircase. It is narrow. It is steep. The risers and the treads are not even regulated. Whenever I have an insurance agent come and look at the property where my business is, he always shakes his head and says that every one of those treads should have that orange safety paint on it. That is no place to drink. Being a business owner, oh, isn't there supposed to be a going? No, okay, you guys will tell me. Okay, otherwise I'll just go on and tell you all about my business and all about my opinions. And yeah, as a woman, I don't think public drinking is comfortable. I don't like it when I'm having to walk by people who are drinking on the street. It does happen. Even without the ordinance, it still happens. People will still have open containers. Catcalls, it's common. I don't want to speak for the gay and lesbian community, but as a person of multiple persuasions, I'm not comfortable thinking of the actions that some people make toward.
The madam's time has expired. That's your time. Next up is Mike Welch.
Michael Welch, 16 Kings Highway. First off, I want to say welcome back, Mayor. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Missed you, bud. Anyway, and also pay attention to these floors here. Paul Sutherland and Main Street Eureka are doing a phenomenal job. And this work is hard. I mean, people are on their knees working hard, scrubbing these floors, sanding them down, and volunteering their own time. And it is a marvelous project, and I think they need to get recognition for that. Okay, I want to voice my support for the Permanent Entertainment District proposal. To keep appealing to younger, upper-middle-class tourists and visitors, Eureka Springs could offer a space where adults can enjoy a cool drink as they stroll, shop, and browse on a pleasant afternoon. I have seen the temporary entertainment districts here over the years, and the participants have always been responsible, polite, and have cleaned up after themselves. If there have been any incidents where kids are drinking or people fighting, I am not aware of any. The visitors we get are responsible adults and families who want to have a fun, pleasurable experience. Although we have a family-friendly experience, the adults are the ones we spend our needed tax dollars on adult experiences like dining, lodging, live music, and adult beverages. This is 2026. Alcohol consumption is a way of life in social circles among adults. If we want to continue to grow, we need to grow with the American culture. And to keep having these redundant temporary entertainment districts being over and over again and taking up your valuable time and the paperwork involved, and virtually every one of them getting approved, and I never heard of a single incident. We just need to get one, get a specific area, and go with that.
Next up is Rachel Hancock.
Thank you for your time. I'm here on behalf of Main Street Eureka Springs, and we appreciate the ongoing work being done to support a vibrant and economically healthy downtown district. As an organization dedicated to strengthening downtown through preservation, economic vitality, and community engagement, we recognize the importance of thoughtful policy decisions that shape the future of our historic city. We understand that the council is currently considering the establishment of a permanent entertainment district within downtown Eureka Springs. To be clear, Main Street Eureka Springs is not opposed to the concept of an entertainment district. In fact, many communities have explored and found great value in similar approaches as part of broader tourism and economic development strategies. We do, however, believe that a change of this scale, and I think the first two speakers can support this, we do believe that a change of this scale warrants broad community input and consideration. A permanent entertainment district would represent a significant policy shift affecting residents, businesses, and visitors alike. And as such, we respectfully encourage the council to consider allowing the citizens of Eureka Springs the opportunity to vote on this matter through a public ballot process. Eureka Springs has long been a community that values civic engagement and local participation in decisions that shape the character of our town. Providing residents with the opportunity to weigh in through a public vote would help strengthen transparency, build trust in the process, and ensure that the outcome reflects the desires of the community. Main Street Eureka Springs remains committed to supporting thoughtful dialogue and constructive civic participation around this issue and others that affect the future of downtown. Thank you so much for your service to the community and for considering the importance of public vote in this process. And again, on behalf of Main Street Eureka Springs, thank you so much for the time.
Next is Lex Lancaster.
Hi, I'm Lex Lancaster, and I'm here to share 2 points. The proposal for an entertainment district and anything that shifts the culture of community should go to ballot. Residents have the right to vote. And I oppose the proposal for several reasons. My husband and I moved here 2 years ago. We had the opportunity to live anywhere, and we chose Eureka Springs like many people. What drew us here was the beautiful nature, historic town, welcoming community, and the feelings of calm of this town. We are starting a family, and like young adults and families nationwide, want to live somewhere that's family-friendly and prioritizes safety. I have visited towns that have a permanent entertainment district, but note that my visits were short, because while those places have many attractions, I was unaware because I was focused on the party. I missed the historic tours, nearby parks, and outdoor recreation, and I didn't do any shopping. My budget was spent on alcohol. Plus, I was sleeping in with a hangover. These cities were clean each morning, given the foot traffic from the night before, and there was plenty of police enforcement patrolling because in entertainment districts, police and security have to be available to deal with behaviors like over-intoxication, bar fights, overcrowding, public urination, and vomiting. The other common pattern was true city blocks, straight roads easy to control, with road closures to keep pedestrians and bar-goers safe. I can't imagine our city closing streets to traffic for something longer than a parade, given that there's one primary road through town. How can Eureka be turned into an entertainment district when our town is centered on history, healing, arts, and outdoor recreation, and with limited infrastructure due to just being a small town? Many towns choose to become an entertainment district to increase walking traffic, but in Eureka, tourists are already walking around, shopping, eating, and stopping at a bar for live music. There are neighboring cities that have started entertainment districts like Dixon Street in Fayetteville, Rogers Railroad District, and seeing their argued success may lead us to believe it can work here too. But those regions are so different from Eureka. The topography, population size, and funding in those cities all support the infrastructure needed for an entertainment district. Eureka Springs is much smaller with limited resources. There's also misalignment with the campaign Free to Be. Everyone is free to be who they are and enjoy Eureka. But becoming an entertainment district centers those who drink alcohol. Right now, if I don't want to be in a setting centered on alcohol, I can walk around town any time of day, any day of the week. And if I do want that, I'll visit any of our numerous bars. Current options and environment is much more inclusive and equitable for everyone. According to nationwide studies, there's a strong cultural shift toward reduced alcohol consumption. It seems it could be a step backwards, opposite of market research, to become an entertainment district at this point. And lastly, while nationwide drinking culture is less, Carroll County has historically faced significant challenges with high addiction rates. The most common addiction, listed by addictionhelp.com, alcohol use disorder. Normalizing and promoting daily alcohol use in public, the vibe of the entertainment district, is irresponsible and disrespectful to our community. For all these reasons, and with them, the decreased ability to promote the longevity of this town, I oppose the proposal of a permanent entertainment district and urge everyone to consider what I've shared, plus their own ideas, reasons, and values.
Lila Allison.
Good evening. Hi, Butch. It's good to see you here. Welcome home.
Thank you.
I didn't think I was going to be speaking tonight on this. It was brought to my attention. I have to be fully honest. I've been very busy. I did not know that this was, I didn't know the extent. So it is obviously about the entertainment district also. My big concerns, I've never been a bartender, but I do know that there have been court cases where bartenders were held liable for over-serving, and then the actions of that person going out in the community, having an accident, killing people, manslaughter, big things, causing big dollar lawsuits. If we have an open entertainment center or district, and I'm a bartender, say, in a bar downtown, and I've served one drink to someone, they leave the bar, they go to their car, they fill up their Igloo or Yeti full of vodka, they go out and kill a family. Who's responsible? Is Eureka responsible? Am I responsible? These are big questions. I mean, I don't know what the legal liability would be for Eureka or for those that are serving beverages. What happens after they walk out of the bar? What happens later? It's scary to me. I'm afraid for the people that are serving in restaurants and what that could mean for them, serving in bars and what that could mean for them. Also, as bar owners, which I am not, but for people that are on a budget, which is most of us, what would keep people from going to their car, like I said, and filling up their Yeti and then coming back in the bar with free booze that they didn't spend $1 in Eureka, not a tax dollar, not a beverage dollar, no dollars. I mean, I don't know that this is really going to benefit us in the way that some people think that it will. And I agree. I think a vote is important. I think that, and I don't live in the city, so I don't get to vote. So my vote is verbal, and it's today. I think it's a bad idea. Also, who's going to pay for the extra police? How are we going to keep it in a district? There's a lot of questions. I heard there was a workshop. I'll absolutely come to the workshop, even though I won't have a vote. But I think this is a big issue, and we need to go slow and really think about all the repercussions, how it's going to affect business, whether that's going to be positive or negative. What is in it for the city? What is it going to equal in dollars and revenue? And how is it going to be helpful or detrimental? I mean, I think a lot of times a lot of families feel pushed out by Eureka for a lot of different reasons, and I think this is just going to be another.
The madam's time has expired. Devin Henderson.
Hello. Good evening, Mayor and Council. And my name is Devin Henderson, and I'm here representing the Chamber and the group that has been working on the proposed permanent entertainment district. I want to start by emphasizing that this proposal is not about expanding activity. It's about organizing and regulating something that's already happening. Right now, we have a mix of informal and event-based activity. This creates inconsistency for businesses, visitors, and enforcement. What we're proposing is a clear, structured framework. This district would be limited to a clearly defined area, designed in coordination with our police chief, not citywide. It would operate under set hours, ending at 10 p.m., with the only exception being the already established New Year's Eve event. There are also important safeguards. No outside alcohol allowed, a required wristband system for participation, all ID checks and underage drinking laws remain fully enforced, existing noise ordinances and public intoxication laws remain unchanged. Any special events still require permits and city approval. So this is about adding clarity, accountability, and consistency, not loosening standards. I also want to highlight that this has been a collaborative effort. We've worked with city leadership, law enforcement, public works, and local merchants. We've listened to concerns and shaped this proposal with those in mind. At its core, this is about supporting our local economy while maintaining the safety and character of Eureka Springs. Those two things are not in conflict. We can do both, and we believe this proposal strikes that balance. I encourage you to review the materials ahead of Wednesday's workshop and come ready for a thoughtful discussion. Thank you for your time. Glad to see you back, Butch.
Thank you, David.
I will now turn it over to Madam Clerk.
I have four written in public comments. The first, dear members of the City Council, I would like to briefly comment on the proposal to create a permanent entertainment district in Eureka Springs. I'm not opposed to the concept itself. However, a decision of this magnitude warrants careful consideration and a base of input before moving forward. In particular, it would be beneficial to hear from economic development professionals, pardon me, city planners with experience in comparable communities and members of our local community who would be directly affected. Policies that shape a town's long-term character and economic structure benefit from thoughtful analysis and inclusive dialogue. Gathering expert perspectives and community feedback would help ensure that any decision made reflects both sound planning principles and the priorities of the residents and the businesses of Eureka Springs. Given the scope and potential long-term implications of establishing a permanent entertainment district, it is appropriate to consider that this question should ultimately be put to a public vote rather than determined solely through a council decision. Thank you for your service to our community and for considering these perspectives as part of the discussion. Respectfully, Heather Wilson. These are in order of that I received them. The second is, my name is Samantha Webb, and I was a medical records clerk for Eureka Springs Hospital in 2023. Still, you continue to sweep us under the rug. Still, you refuse to speak of us. When will we see the removal of the HR director, Jody Edmondson? When will a forensic investigation take place? Where is the accountability? Time and again, you do indeed prove that you do not know, nor will you ever have our back. And this is in quotes. They know they're dirty, they know you know they're dirty, and they don't care, end quote. Eureka is a dirty town, and everybody knows it. That's why nobody's picking up the news about the hospital except local papers. The attitude is, well, that's Eureka for you. End of quote. Shame on every one of you who choose to ignore, dismiss, and sweep us under the rug, who cannot and will not be bothered to even so much as acknowledge us. You seem to forget that the truth, like the sun, cannot be hidden. It always comes out, and rotten fruit needs no help falling from the tree. You seem to forget that while former employees may not show up at your council or commission meetings, we're all still here. None of us is giving up. And the third, hello, my name is Richard Webb, a former employee of the Eureka Springs Hospital. I would like this read into the public comments during the Eureka Springs regular city council meeting this evening. What cloud of self-entitlement are all you guys living on? You have had people that lost everything they worked for stolen by the illegal actions of people. You took an oath to uphold the law, and none of you have done that. What you have done is ignore a lot of good people that were hurt by what you all allowed to happen. My question is this: what makes you guys think that you have the power to be city leaders when all you do is take care of yourselves and your friends and your political interest, but you ignore state and federal labor laws that were broken and ignore all the people that were hurt by it and just act like it didn't happen? People didn't deserve what they went through that were hurt by it. They had to go what they had to go through there, and you guys were all oath breakers, and you know it. Along with Mr. Berry, you allowed this to happen. I will end by saying this: none of you deserve to be where you are. You remember this. None of you are special. My wife and I will not give up until you're all held accountable for what you have allowed to happen. And the fourth, I have 5. The fourth is, dear council, I urge you to vote no on a permanent entertainment district. There are many drawbacks, but the biggest one is that there will be no regulation on the amount of alcohol consumed by an individual, where normally a person who has consumed too much alcohol would be, in quote, 86th. The entertainment district would allow people to consume unlimited amounts of alcohol without any supervision at all. The results could be disastrous. Thank you, Glenna Satterfield, 26 Eureka Street. And the 5th. I am writing this letter to inform you of my total opposition to a permanent entertainment district in downtown Eureka Springs. The Eureka citizens, by vote, have made it clear that they are opposed to such a district. With people drinking in the streets, it would be impossible to control their going into the residential neighborhoods which would border the district. Residents don't want drunk people coming onto their porches or their property. This district would not benefit them, only the business owners. In the past, even without a permanent entertainment district, shops that stay open late have had to deal with drunk people coming into their businesses and throwing up on the street. We have plenty of bars in town. In a bar, the bartender or owner can cut off a person's alcohol if they're too drunk, but not if they're out on the street in the district. There will be too many people for that kind of control to be possible. There will be no control of people going to their vehicles to get more alcohol than the entertainment district allows. Alcohol is a problem, and putting it on the streets is a bad idea. Eureka Springs is a family-friendly city, and turning the downtown into party-hardy district is not family-friendly. Even now, if you are downtown late at night, you will hear people yelling at the top of their lungs and sometimes see men peeing on the streets. Do you want more of that? As there are the options of temporary entertainment districts, we don't need a permanent one. I'm asking that you put the citizens first. We don't want a permanent alcohol district. We have already said loud and clear by our votes that we do not want a permanent entertainment district. You, as our representatives, are bound by oath and law to represent us. We, as the voters, are expecting you to do just that and vote against the permanent entertainment district. Karen Lindblad. I'm complete.
All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, that concludes our public comments. First item of business is sewer and water streets update. Motion to discuss.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Mr. Simon?
Yeah, hello. So I guess, wow, that's really loud. This week, a lot of you guys noticed the traffic lights up there on East Van Buren at 101 East Van Buren. So our crew repaired 2 water leaks out there. We got it back open for the weekend, but there's about 100 feet of water line that's going to have to be replaced. So I'm working with the contractors right now trying to get bids on that. So we're looking at trying to get that done sooner rather than later. I do have an asphalt overlay that's scheduled to happen out there to overlay those patches, but we're trying to hold off as long as we can.
So is it still leaking up there?
It is still leaking, yeah. There's another leak up there. So what we found when we excavated out that second leak was the backfill material. They backfilled it with some, looked like 8-inch stone, and the stone has wore through the pipe and is causing various holes throughout it. So that's the catch. Hopefully, I spoke with a contractor today. We're going to try to get that done at night. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but we're going to try to do it at night and plate over it during the daytime for traffic. We'll just see how the estimates come in for that repair work.
Are we going to subcontract, is what you're saying?
Correct. Yep. So later this week, our street crews are going to be painting some of the curbs red. We've had some of the curbs that were replaced that were red in the past that aren't red anymore. So I just had red paint come in today. We're going to try to get that done when the weather warms back up Wednesday, Thursday. I'm working with Census. They're the company that I'm kind of jumping around, and I apologize. That we have our water meters through, and we're right now we have one laptop that has the programming to read the meters. We're going to get all the Public Works laptops, that software, so we could use those in case we need to. Speaking of the water department, I want to say a sincere thank you to Bill. Bill's one of the gentlemen that worked in the office. He handles a lot of the meter reading and stuff like that. He's been running around town, fixing some minor meter issues around town. He always has a very positive attitude, and I really, really like that about him. We replaced the angle stop at the Pendergrass bathroom meter, which is the valve where we turn on and off the meter. We had one of those that failed on that and got that replaced. Earlier last week, I met with McClellan Engineering out at the Lake Leatherwood Dam. They're performing a inspection of that dam for our permit through the state. And then last week, I spent a better part of a day over at the wastewater treatment plant. We're doing some organization in the office and cleaning up at the lab and trying to find all the missing supplies and parts that we have laying around. So getting that a little bit under control. I ordered a new shelving unit to go out into one of the other buildings to try to organize a little bit better out there and keep track of what we have. But other than that, I'll stand for any questions. Yes, sir.
You mentioned water meters, and that just brought to my mind that how are we as far as the replacement on all of them? Are we there? It's been a long time since we.
I think we're very, very close to being all there. I don't have the exact number for you. The next council meeting, I'll have you a number and let you know exactly where we're at. But yeah, we're very close to having that up to 100%.
Appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just following up on that. Do we have like a water meter replacement schedule where we're like changing them out?
No, we don't. So we just did installed new meters within the last 5 years or so. We're looking at a shelf life of probably 10 to 20 years on those. We don't have a schedule to replace them. We've been really good with the meters so far. Basically, the ones that Bill is looking at right now is because we're getting negative reads on meters for one reason or another, so we're trying to figure out why that's happening. But we haven't ran into a huge issue of dead meters. They're still under warranty, so when we remove them, they take them back and get us new ones. As that warranty starts to expire, then I'll approach council about the next step with those. So as of right now, we don't have a plan on it because we're still many years out on having to replace them again.
What percentage still need to be replaced, do you think?
We have over 1,750 meters in the city, and I think we're, off the top of my head, we're probably down to like 30 left, maybe. But I don't have the exact number, but I'm pretty sure we're probably around 30.
And the ones that have been replaced have been like within the last 2 years, maybe?
No, within the last 5.
In the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Saw your infomercial on Facebook.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Steve. So I did made a video. So I happened to go to Eureka Supply, and I found this pop-off valve, and thank you so much for bringing that up because I really want to talk about that. So they make this little valve that goes on top of your sewer clean out of your house, and if the sewer were to ever back up for whatever reason, this valve opens up and it lets the sewer out into the street versus into your house. This device costs like $17 and some change at Eureka Supply. So that being said, I have 4 of those valves that I found in our stock, and we don't deal with private lines at all, but I do have 4 of those that I'll have up at the Public Works office before long. If somebody wants to come and get one, feel free to. They're a little bit different design than the one I bought. The one I bought has a spring-loaded valve. These don't. These have a cup that just pops out, and so if it were a major issue, it'd pop out and end up down the hill or something, But the one that I bought had a valve that closes, which keeps the water out from rain or whatever, and reduce that I&I, the inflow and infiltration of the sewer system. That's why I like that piece of equipment so much. But I did make a video. It's on the City of Eureka Springs Public Works page. And
I saw it pop up on Facebook.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
You missed your calling. I think infomercials should be what you...
I definitely have a face for radio, but a voice for books, so whatever that means.
You're really good.
Anybody else? I'm like Steve. I saw that also, and I thought you did a great job of putting that out for the public and become aware of it. 'Cause it's a big issue, obviously.
And, I'll try to make more videos on different things. I'm not a very creative person. I never try to reinvent the wheel. I try to repurpose it for our needs. But if you guys have anything that goes for the public, if you ever see anything that you want discussed, I'll make a video on it. Just let me know, and I'll post it up. Appropriate stuff only, so...
Those valves are a good one because people can really have a...
They're so cheap, but if something were to happen and it backflows in your house, tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage.
Oh, yeah.
So I highly encourage, and we have a very old infrastructure here in this city, and it's a cheap thing that you could buy that could prevent you from having a very costly issue in the future.
Indeed.
Great. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Simon. All right, that brings us up to the unfinished business number 2, which is offer on lots 12 through 16.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All right. There's Miss Lila.
No.
I'm not sure who wants to lead off on this. Mr. McClung, you want to? Anybody from the council?
Okay. I have looked at this new proposal that Lila has presented to us. She has pulled out lot 16 of the plat we have. It does not really define lot 16 as such.
No, it doesn't.
But it's this area right here. I know it's past the driveway, so it's going to be that.
Correct.
And so there is an error in her legal description.
I might have put part of. Will you look and just see if there's a PT in front of that?
Let's see here.
Because I was trying to use the legal description of the block, which includes
just
all
have
the lots.
Lot 12 to 16, including Fritz Street and Anderson.
Okay, I thought
But I mean, that's minor.
Well,
it might say part of parcel.
No, it's something that, you say part or part.
Okay.
But that's down on the tax number.
So basically what I did after our discussion at the last meeting and hearing the comments about not wanting to give up any more city land than we ever need to, which I absolutely agree on, I went ahead and reduced the lots that I was asking for and offered more money trying to come to a resolution. So when I talked to John Veach, the surveyor, he was fairly confident. He did not have time to get out and flag just lot 16. He's 30 days out. But he was fairly confident that all of lot 16 was past my driveway, and that if I just asked for the 13, 14, and 15, that I could clear my driveway and still get ingress and egress to my property. So I've reduced my request by a full lot and increased the amount that I'm offering to try to come to a compromise that would make everyone comfortable.
If I may then, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
so we can kind of get the process rolling. And I think what we have to do is we have to have just a vote for a public hearing first. Is that not correct, Counselor?
That's true.
Okay, so the resolution is, does this need to be read first, or what do we want to do? what's the next step?
Well, you'll only need the resolution if you guys decide to accept the offer.
Okay.
Rachel has comments too.
Yeah.
So first of all, I want to start by saying that I appreciate you demonstrating compromise, given the conversation that we had at the last meeting. And again, nothing personal. I would say that where I stand, because we don't have a map in front of us to even really know what we're agreeing to, would only be in favor of Lot 12. And I'd like to see how the other lots break out across the property. So what is happening?
That's the universe crying for me.
Very nice. I would, at this time, only be in favor of selling Lot 12.
The sheds are actually on Lot 13, so 12 doesn't help me clear the sheds.
12 is your house?
No,
right?
12 is the corner.
Another reason why we need a map. So I'm not in favor of agreeing to a sale tonight.
I did bring
see how it breaks out. That's me.
You got the map.
I also gave it to Terry last time when we were here, and it did show the lots. I just didn't have a copy for all of you, but I thought that it was included in the first packet that I gave to you guys like 7 weeks ago.
Your house?
No, there was another piece of paper that was included in the packet that actually showed the city overlay of the lots.
It's from last meeting that she's.
Actually, it's from the meeting before that.
There's two of them.
That looks exactly like this.
That's the survey,
and 12.
but I actually gave
And the
Terry-
easement, or the old
So the sheds
city
are-
street, and everything else on the other side of that city street is not blocked out by lot. It's just one big section. And so if you're proposing to buy any of that property, I would like to see where the lots lay before agreeing.
That is on the city plat.
This is where the street is.
On the old city plat, they're defined.
This is the driveway.
Okay.
Those lots.
I included it in the first packet. You guys should have
Yeah,
it.
it was in our first set of maps that we got.
It's all but 16.
But I would like to go ahead and make a motion that we approve the purchase price and her offer to purchase. I'd like to make a motion that we approve it.
What do you mean approve the first offer price?
She presented us an offer to purchase that's in the package,
$5,500.
$5,500.
Right, when you said first.
It was 5,000 last time.
Yeah.
It's lots 12 through 15 for $5,500.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
I have that. I was confused with how he said it.
All right, so we've got a motion to,
I'll second that.
okay, Mr. Myers seconded. We got any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
There's no additional discussion?
No, I didn't hear any.
Okay.
Any additional discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
Opposed?
Let's do a roll call. Yeah.
Mr. McClung,
Yes?
Mr. Meyer,
Yes.
Ms. Moyer,
No.
Mr. Holyfield.
No.
Ms. Greening.
No.
I have a quick question. Who all has been to the property to see the ditch I'm trying to buy?
Who has?
Yes, please. So the two that voted yes and the mayor have been there. to
I
see it.
don't
You
think
came
that,
and
I
saw
don't
it.
think that this is an appropriate conversation. We have voted, the discussion is over.
Okay.
You're not the mayor.
Well,
True.
She's correct, though. The motion is dead, unless there's any further business on this.
Can I ask another question about how I proceed now? I mean, as far as, when I first came to see you, you said that the city didn't want to do easements. And so that's why.
No, I said they prefer not to do easements, prefer to sell the property. And obviously, and I also said it was up to the city council to make that decision. So the city council decided not to sell this piece of property for whatever reason. It doesn't prevent you from coming back and making another offer, a different offer if you so choose.
Okay.
Or any other offer or, easement or anything else.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So, I mean, you can still make a proposal for easements too. I mean, that's not to say the council won't agree with it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right, that brings us up to unfinished business for Spring Street damage hearing continuation. Motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss property damage.
Second.
All right. I was not here, obviously, at the last meeting, and I know that you had a lot of conversation back and forth and with the Slanes on the damage that was result from some water coming in off of Spring Street. You should have a memo from our attorney on this. And we were, I think the last offer I received, and correct me, Mr. and Mrs. Slane, if I'm not wrong, did you said you would settle for $38,000? Did I see that somewhere?
Well, I think that we were asking for business interruption as well, which would help us out. But what the bills or the estimates that you had required for us to get was around $38,000, and that was what I think you were, or had written us a letter agreeing that if we would take that. So we were asking for 60 to be able to help us out with business interruption, because we will have to be closed 2 weeks.
We can't do, the only thing we can do is material. We cannot subsidize any business salaries, your business loss, or any of that. That's something that's against law. So what you've got is an offer of, what I made an offer of $35,000. I thought there was a $38,000 counter offer.
It was in the discussion last time, and I think that was what was mentioned to me. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. But is that where we are?
I'm not sure, is it? I mean, is that a counter offer from y'all that you would settle for $38,000?
It wasn't, but I let's see where we're at. Do you want to say anything? Are we just going to move on?
I think it's just extremely unfortunate that the damages occurred to our property, and now we have to clean up the situation. And, this is just not the first time this has happened in the city. And I'm just extremely saddened that at this point, we haven't done anything to help mitigate any of these issues. I mean, even when I sat up here at this table, this is exactly what I was talking about.
Ms. Lane, if you could, please keep your comments relating to your business.
I understand. Are we taking a second?
Yes, we will. We'll take it.
That's back to this council, how the council wants to do. We can accept it and deny it.
I'm afraid to make a motion myself. I'm afraid to get turned down.
Could I ask?
Can I ask the letter that you sent us, the offer, how does that stand?
Right now, we're dealing with the motion on whether or not to accept the $38,000.
I understand that, but you had obviously the ability to send the offer. If this would have never came in front of council, would they have the ability to vote on that?
No, we're dealing with something different right now. Ms. Moore, you had a question?
So I'm a little bit confused on where we are on this whole thing, but my understanding after reviewing all of the information that was sent, talking to city employees, really trying to understand what happened here, is I believe that the city actually provided repairs to the building in the amount of $6,500.
Repairing the stone retaining wall.
Yeah. So something has been done. And I wondered if the attorney could read her legal opinion so that we are all clear on exactly, I guess, what the point of decision is for us at this moment. and what the law is.
Okay, the law is you have tort immunity. This would be a tort. It's negligence. So you didn't do anything intentionally to, my understanding, the city didn't do anything intentionally to cause them damages. So we've got a negligence claim here. You do not have to pay them any money. You can if you choose to do so. You are stewards of taxpayer money. There are laws that dictate what you can spend taxpayer money on. If you are going to reimburse for damages like this, you are limited to actual damages. Any speculative costs like lost wages, lost profits, lost business income, anything like that would be vulnerable to an illegal exaction lawsuit for improper use of tax money. I don't recommend doing that. I think what we have now, we've got some receipts, estimates that they had prepared that we did not have last time when we were here. I have not gone through and added those up or reviewed them at all. That's for you guys to do and determine if you want to pay any of those, and if you do, how much you want to pay.
Ms. Moyer?
So how is that then paid? If the settlement is made, is it paid based on just reimbursement? So there's proof of expense and then it's paid up to $35,000? Or is the settlement, here's $35,000, do what you will?
That would be up to you guys. And I assume this money would come out of your general fund. So
I would suggest that it be based upon receipts upon materials up to maximum $35,000. Ms. Meyer?
Do we have actual receipts for money they've spent?
No, not that I know. We have estimates.
Everything we have is, my understanding, is what's in the packet, correct?
Yes, we were just required to have estimates. That's what I don't know.
But I
if you'd like
haven't
to-
seen copies of those estimates. All I see is a list of numbers.
There are screenshots and various documents that show estimates for replacement that were digitally provided to us.
Yeah, I didn't get those.
Would it help the council to speak with Paul Sutherland? He was the mediator between Butch and I, and he has a little more in-depth information because it seems like no one is coming prepared for these conversations. I'm sorry that it's maybe not your fault, but we are providing you with what you've asked. I'm sorry.
Ms. Moyer?
Never mind.
Okay.
I was going to respond to that, but I've looked at absolutely everything that's been provided, and what I see is estimations for repair and replacement and no receipts. I see absolutely no receipts. I see estimations. I see nothing that shows it's been paid, which is a receipt.
And
Well,
estimations.
the only thing that we have paid out of pocket so far is the vanity. The vanity and repairs for that.
So to be fair, the vanity is a screenshot on Amazon or Home Depot or something. It is not a receipt paid. It is just a screenshot for an estimate.
It says payment type on it with an invoice number. This is what they sent me.
Well,
I'm not gonna.
I see something, but I can't read it because it's so...
This sounds a lot like what we were talking about before, but I'm just looking at what we were provided, and we were provided with.
We were just told, we were required to come up with estimates as to the damage.
Wow.
And whether or
And-
not you guys want to accept the estimates as documentation of actual damages is up to you.
Right.
And as we were continuing the conversation, the building had already been tuck pointed by Stacy Mahurin. So if you want to continue paying out the damages that are going forward, that's fine. But we didn't expect to have our places flooded. And I mean, I'm not sure what you want from us. I mean, it was a mistake, obviously, but negligence, yes. Now, if this does have to go to court in some way, shape, or form, does it not cost the city, I mean, exuberant costs at all?
No.
No. I mean, tort immunity.
Mr. Mayor, may I speak?
Yes.
Okay. This isn't like a sewer backing up in someone's house. And I know a few people who've had that happen, and tort immunity, the city couldn't afford to fix it. Yours looks more like an act of God. Yes, they were working on the street, yes, and water went past where they had the hole, and it got down to your business. That's an act of God. We didn't plan the rain. The city didn't make it rain.
I would be careful about saying that, because that's not the case. Because if there was no hole cut into the street up above, we would have been
That
not been
makes no
flooded.
difference. That's
Whether-
city's business.
Hold on a minute, hold on a minute, hold on.
Mr. Slane, wait.
I don't want to argue with you.
I'm not arguing.
We're discussing here, okay? Please. As far as I'm concerned, this is an act of God, and we don't owe them a dime.
So if
Now,
it
wait.
were to go
Sir,
forward,
Mr. Slane, wait a minute. Okay. Ms. Moyer?
I think it would be really helpful for them to share what they want to share with us, and then for the council to be able to have reasonable discussion without continuous interruption. I think that flow would be really helpful, because I also feel like we need to understand what the decision point is here. If last time it came before us, and my understanding in coming in today, is the decision point was, do we accept a $60,000 counter offer? So if that is not the decision point, then I would like to know what that is. But it's very difficult to have conversation with constant injection. So I would like to hear what they have to say, and then we move on.
Well, to clarify the decision point, I think you get to decide if you're going to pay them any money, and if you are, what that amount will be.
So this looks like a negotiation between them and us?
No.
That's up to you. They've given you have the evidence in front of you that they have provided, and then you have to look at that and make a determination about if they're owed any money, and if they are, how much.
So is there space for us to have discussion now, just with council?
Yes, but it has to be done here in public.
Perfect.
Yeah, yes.
Ms. Gruden?
Heather, so I'm clear. We could either vote for nothing, we can vote for 15,000, we can vote for 35, we can go for the full 60 or whatever.
Yes.
We have to decide what we think is fair and reasonable. Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Holyfield?
I want a couple clarifications here. So most of the work's not been done yet, right?
no,
So we're not going to be able,
It's just
you
been
can
back
give us
and forth.
receipts on stuff you haven't done yet.
it's
You're
been
just-
back and forth. We were just asked from Paul and Butch to come up with the estimates.
Estimates,
Yes.
right.
Okay,
Okay,
can I
and
speak
then-
to that? Can I speak to that? I'm so sorry. So the vanity, we've replaced, is this okay? We've replaced one vanity. The work receipts are behind that. That has been paid.
And the
We
mud
have
cleanup and
all the cleanup fees, that's all been paid.
Right.
Okay.
But most of the work has not been done yet.
Not the big work,
Okay,
no.
so I want to clarify that. Also, your insurance, does it pay?
We spoke to our insurance agent about this, and they basically said that they couldn't file under our insurance because it was more or less not our fault, and it was pretty fraud. fraud.
Really? Okay. And then I want clarification. You all showed us a picture of a pump, and there's something about a drain, but the pump wasn't working.
Okay, so where the water came in, it was flowing over the bench seat. Underneath the bench seat is the sump pumps. So basically, if the water is coming out and over, it's into the floor. But if it's streaming like normal, it's down into underneath the bench seat.
So it's
into
running
a
so
moat.
hard going over
Yes.
it.
Well, it was literally flying off the,
But what the sump pumps do and have always done is they pump out all the water that has continuously been flowing from the spring, right? So they had no problems until all the soot and the mud and everything else that you can see in the pictures are all over the floor. So once that happened, it just overloaded the pumps.
Okay.
That was it.
And clogged the drain.
Yes.
Okay, one more point, please. This is legal. If we do this money, is that setting a precedence for anybody in town to come after us for damages?
I mean, yes, anybody that experiences something similar could then, I mean, they have the public has the ability to make that request anyway, so.
But, I mean, they look at this and they're like, okay, the gate's been open, let's go ahead.
I mean,
and
I can't really give it, that's really not a legal opinion, so
Yeah.
I can't give you an opinion on
Is this a
that.
precedence that could be used in court for someone else in the future making a claim against the city?
I mean, that's hard to say, that's a hypothetical. I can't predict what someone will say in court. But they are making the claim, they have submitted evidence to you guys, and then you get to make the big decision on what to do with that.
And the city has settled before on these kinds of cases?
I don't know.
You don't know, okay.
Yes.
They have?
It's been a long time, but we have.
Okay.
Mr. McClung, did you have a question first? I saw your hand up. If not,
I'll wait.
okay. Ms. Grunin?
So one thing I want to be aware of is that estimates could be higher than the actual cost. So if we are thinking about a reimbursement, it may not be what all the estimates are. And secondly, I really question the insurance company, because I think anytime I've had issues, even when I owned a lodging, which is a commercial business, I filed with them, and then they would go after whoever. So why wouldn't your, that just doesn't make sense.
basically what he told us, that the city cut a hole in our property, which allowed the rain to come in. That was not an act of God. Yes, the rain was, but them cutting a hole, that was the defining moment. So at that point, it's their responsibility.
So the insurance agency doesn't want to deal with the city, is basically what they're saying?
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
So the insurance agency does not want to work with the city, basically?
Well, I don't know that a personal insurance is to cover something that negligence is not on our behalf. You know what I mean? Yes, like Harry said, if it was an act of God without the hole there, you know what I'm saying? So then it becomes sort of fraudulent on our behalf to even make that claim.
Ms. Moyer?
So let me, just for clarification, the sub pumps were working?
Yes.
They were in operational order?
Yes. They are still because of at that point, they are still because there's a constant stream that's coming down in there, and it collects the water down in a basin, and it pumps it out all the time. That's ever since I've been there. We've been there now 12 years. So yes.
So that's a regularly occurring thing that happens where water comes in this point and the sump pumps pump it out?
Yeah.
The spring, yeah, it trickles. Have you been into our establishment? Okay. So you've seen that it runs down through a channel, collects into a basin, and pumps it out.
This is, I wondered if we could have maybe someone from the city who's more familiar with the area, since we're hearing evidence, talk about.
Paul's been down there, our building inspector. Paul,
Simon's down.
Paul and Simon both, but is this what you're talking about, Ms. Moyer?
What was your question?
Just wanted you to, I guess you were there after it happened, and I don't know, what do you know about this area? And
So I will say that I was there a couple days after it, and there was definitely, he did receive some damage. I didn't put an estimate to it, and I didn't put any moisture meters to anything, but there is an estimate, there is damage there, and I do feel like that the mayor and me try to work in good faith to try to come up with some type of reasonable offer to the Slanes, and I felt like the mayor's offer was the best we could get. So I don't know any more that I could say for that, to that.
Thank you. So trying to just understand this situation, one of the options we would have is to basically support the mayor's initial offer and just stipulate that there would need to be, it would be a reimbursement and not upfront payment.
Say that again, stipulate what? What kind of reimbursement?
One of the options available to council would be that we agree to what the mayor initially offered, and we would require that it be a reimbursement as opposed to a whole sum payout of $35,000.
As in, as they pay, they would make a claim and...
Yes, they would
up
be
to
reimbursed up to $35,000 after providing receipt of work.
I think you could structure it that way if you want to, yes.
So that's an option.
And the other option is not to do anything and to deny the claim totally. And the third option is to go with whatever they
The
suggest.
60,000 or
Yeah.
whatever it was. Yeah.
All right, Mr. McClung?
And Paul just said it, you know, you negotiated in good faith with them and tried to work something out. Original 30 and then came back with a 35. And I think, I want to go ahead and make a motion that we approve a $35,000 without accepting any guilt or anything on it, but the willingness to reimburse them up to $35,000 for repairs related to the water intrusion. Such a date based on that replacement of the meter.
Second.
I would like in the motion the reimbursement put in there if that's possible. The reimbursement.
That's what I said.
That's what he just said.
He mentioned reimbursement.
Did you? Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Is there any other questions or comments on this? All right. So as I understand the motion, and I maybe get it completely, I don't know if I get it right or not, to approve up to $35,000 based on reimbursements of
Receipts for repairs.
reimbursement of repairs due to the flooding on such and such a date, on date, whatever date that was. Do y'all remember the date by any chance?
I'm sorry.
Do you remember the date of the?
September 23rd.
Yep.
September what?
23rd.
Okay, date September 23rd.
Do we need to specify that the reimbursements for material only, not wages or lost income or
The physical damage.
physical
Yep.
damage?
Yeah, I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah, $35,000 reimbursement based on physical damage and repair. Does not include any loss of salary, loss of wages, loss of business. Right. All right. Does that make it clear to everyone? Let's have a roll call.
I don't think you have a second.
Oh, I do need a second.
I second.
Okay. Now I got a second. Now I'm ready for a roll call.
Mr. McClung?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
No.
Ms. Moyer?
Yes.
Mr. Holyfield?
Yes.
Mr. Avanzino is absent. Ms. Gruning?
Yes.
Did you get Mr. McClung?
I did.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do we have? 4-5-1? 4-1. I think Mr. Meyer voted no. Okay, 4-1, so it passes.
Thank
All right.
you.
So get your items and reimbursement on that and submit them to my office, and
Okay.
we'll go from there.
Will we need to have something written by the city to come to us, or? with that language in it, or?
That's it, yes, I think we should probably do that. I'll draft something and I can get it to the mayor and then he can get it to you.
Okay.
Is that
I
good?
appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right, thank you all. All right. We have deferred item number 4. It brings us up to item number 5, which is proposed city sales tax discussion. Follow up to the workshop. Get a motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All right, who wants to lead off?
I think we need to decide 1%, if that's what we want to do, and vote on it. So, is there anything
Let's
else?
do that the first order of business. Y'all want to make a motion to that effect? Someone?
A 1% 20-year? Should we say that?
Yeah.
1% 20-year sunset for water, sewer only.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Got a discussion? Everybody pleased and happy with that? I think that goes along with what we talked about in our workshop. So that would go along with 1% sales tax based on 20-year bonds. All right, do we need a roll call on that?
What we'll need is, probably not, we need to go ahead and draft the levying ordinance, and then that will be what you vote on. So I'll just need
How
the
about
language.
prepare an ordinance?
Yeah, you can vote on that.
Yeah, all right. So we'll have an ordinance prepared noting 1% for 20 years on bond issue.
Okay. Do we have to, well, she'll know, Heather, put it in there according to whatever.
Yeah, I'll
need
just,
Based on what we get.
I'll need someone to send me whatever you guys decided on in the workshop.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, so moved. All right. Anything else on sales tax? Okay. Last item.
Spring Fling. That's it.
All right, new business. Spring Fling 2026 Temporary Entertainment District. Applications should be attached. So, get a motion to discuss?
Motion to discuss the Spring Fling in April?
Second.
Okay. Ms. Greening?
So one thing I noticed on their application, it was from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Typically, we do to 10 p.m.
Are you asking me?
No, I'm just
I am. I'm looking
pointing
at
that out, that on, I may have been looking at you, but no, I was not asking you. Typically, we do temporary entertainment districts because of noise ordinances and such till 10 p.m., where this one's to 11. I didn't know, I just wanted council to be aware of that. Even with a permanent entertainment district, we would limit it to 10.
Just if
So
it
for me,
helps,
that
they
would
have-
be, that would be a change. I don't know.
They've done this for 5 years.
I know what they've done.
And it's always been to 11.
Okay, that's fine. The way we've always done it doesn't mean that we always have to do it that way. I'm just pointing that out.
All right. Any other comments? Mr. McClung, you look a little confused.
Pardon me?
Are you confused about,
When am I not?
never mind, that's
I'm on
a silly
the city
question.
council. How can I not be?
I understand. Silly question. All right, any other comments?
Only, and I know it's been done before, but it's crossing the highway again. And, you know, we discussed this with the permanent one and not including the highway.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I would like to hear from our police chief, please.
all right. Mr. Chief of Police.
Good idea.
Billy Floyd?
In the past, the Spring Fling's been pretty tame. It's not been a big problem. And I know that they took the trolley shop parking area or turnaround area out of it, but they needed to take it down that far to get that crosswalk in there where people couldn't legally cross the street.
I make a motion, we approve it.
How about sign the resolution and number and read by title only?
Have we got the resolution here?
Should be in the pack.
It's already got
Oh,
a
yeah,
number.
okay. In other words, I would like to make a motion that we assign the resolution a number, suspend the rules, and read it by title only for passage.
Very good. All right. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Are you confused now?
No. I'm right with you. Do I have a
You're in
second?
bad shape then.
So if we want to change the time to
Well,
10 p.m.
I need a second first.
Sorry.
Before we can have a discussion.
Second.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go
But
ahead.
if we-
Mr.
Do
Holyfield.
we want to change the time to 10 p.m.? Can we do that now, or?
We can do that now if you want.
You'll need to make an amendment.
Yeah, move to make
I'd like
an
to make an
amendment.
amendment to the motion on the Spring Fling Temporary Entertainment District application. Instead of 11 a.m. to 10, or to 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., make it 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Second.
Is that Ms. Grenier?
I second
Okay.
his motion.
All right, so we got an amendment to change the times from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Were they at 11 o'clock before? I don't recall. Do you?
I believe they were,
That's what,
but I don't know that for sure.
that's what Kim said, or city.
They always have them.
Yeah, they've always been for the last 5 years to 11.
11 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only one that was 11, I guess.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor of the amendment, changing it from 11 p.m. to 10 p.m., signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, 4-1. That was Mr. McClung voting no?
Correct.
Okay. All right, which brings us back to the resolution, signing it a number and reading, and suspending the rules and reading by title only. Have a roll call.
Yes. Mr. McClung?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
No.
Ms. Moyer?
Yes.
Mr. Holyfield?
Yes.
Ms. Gruning?
Yes.
All right.
Resolution number 907, a resolution to authorize a temporary entertainment district and establishing standards for its operation for Spring Fling 2026.
All right. Agenda setting. Wait, do I have it? No, that's it. Okay. All right, anybody? Ms. Moyer, did you have something?
Agenda setting? Yeah, housing study?
Yes.
Next time.
You want to talk about that next time? Okay. Anybody else? No. All right, if not, city council comments. Ms. Grenning, I'll start on your end.
Okay, so I went to the Chamber's event, the Chocolate Lovers Festival, and it was packed. I think that the vendors there, it was nice and diverse. The people flowed in and out. A lot of people said that they came in just for I met a couple that came in from Joplin for the day to attend, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then, of course, the parade was really nice downtown, and we couldn't have asked for better weather. That's all I have.
Mr. Holyfield.
I don't have much. Just a reminder again, the cemetery tours start first Saturday in April, run through September, 11 a.m. for a 1-hour walking tour for $20. A good deal.
All right. Ms. Moyer?
I wanted to recognize those in the community that, had showed up to speak out regarding the marriage licenses. And I also wanted to specifically call out Jerry King and Michael Atkins and Harry Farrow. I think each of them brought real evidence and good arguments to the table, and I think that it made a difference. Eureka showing up and expressing what's important to them. So I wanted to recognize our community that did that, both online and who were there at the meeting. I recently had the opportunity to attend the open house at the Eureka Springs Hospital earlier this week. And as I've shared with pretty much everybody I've spoken to, I was very impressed with the professionalism and the presentation of the staff. And I was very excited to see specialty clinic renovations and to learn about the new and planned services that are coming available, including their outpatient infusion services and concepts for urgent care. I think that's badly needed in our community, and I was really excited to hear all of the work that's going into that. Now that we're through the first quarter of the year, I do feel it is the responsibility of the City Council to request an update on financial standing, so I have asked for that through the mayor, and I'm sympathetic to the challenges associated with the Finance Department, given all that's happened. While it's the responsibility of City Council to monitor the progress, I feel as a result that I've requested specifically Q1 expenses and current bank balances, mainly just to understand how quickly the Eureka Springs Hospital is utilizing its cash reserves, and requested this reporting and any other metrics so that we can try to judge the operational health of the facility. But as far as being in a space and understanding the changes that have happened in that space, it was very striking to me. So given that I've been quite critical of the financials of the hospital, I feel it's only right to also recognize improvement and positive change.
Thank you. Mr. Meyer.
Town was packed, or is packed, with spring breakers. And there's one thing I can say about spring break. There's a lot of kids in town, a lot of people under 21. They come here to shop. Parents bring their children. They enjoy the city. And if this was a permanent entertainment district, we would have drunks staggering between children walking on the street. The turnout for spring break, as far as the young people is concerned, would go down. And remember, the biggest chunk of the income for this city is retail sales. So give it a good thought. That's all I got.
Mr. McClung.
The only thing I have is that I think this city council has done resident property owner for the Allisons disservice. That's all I have.
I agree.
All right, got quite a bit going on this week, but first of all, I want to do a couple of shout outs, one to all the citizens in the city council and especially Mr. Holyfield for carrying on city business while I was in the hospital for the last a lot longer than I anticipated. You know, that's one of the problems when you go in the hospital. You never know when you're going to get out sometimes. And I appreciate everybody's prayers and well wishes, and not only the city and the city staff, but all the community. And that leads me to our hospital and our services. When I was told to go to our hospital and get a CAT scan, I got in almost immediately at 6 o'clock in the evening, and actually it's 5 o'clock. And by 6 o'clock, I got a result back and told I need to get to a major hospital, and they gave me a good reference over in the corridor, and I was over there in an hour, and within another hour, I was talking to a surgeon. And that's all because of our hospital in the beginning of here and the service that they provided. We're very fortunate that we have a hospital here. If I'd had to gone to Berryville, there's no telling what would have happened, how long I would have taken to get the results and getting in to do a CAT scan and all that. Or if I'd had to gone to Springdale, Fayetteville to get into one of their facilities. I hate to think of how long that would take us. So I'm real pleased with our hospital and our service. We've got a lot to be grateful for, and I'm certainly grateful for it. And that leads me up to the Victorian Classic. It's a legendary race that we have here. It's been going on since 1970s. It's back. We're going to start doing this on March 28th at 8 a.m. for the traditional 10K or the Joe Head Family Fun Run. Many of y'all may not be here long enough or to know who Joe Head, but Joe was a postmaster and worked for the bank and just was a all-around promoter of Eureka Springs. And so this come out and join the run. Turpentine Creek Wildlife on March 28th also, from 10 to 4, has the Kite Fest. So that's always a lot of fun, a lot of kites out there. So I'd say bring your kids, but bring your kid and your adult, the kid in your adult out there, because it's a lot of fun. Also on April 3rd through the 5th is celebration of diversity and community in Eureka Springs for Diversity Weekend. It's going on all around Eureka. And also, we've got Celebrate Jesus. So we've got 2026 Music in the Park on the 3rd, April the 3rd. And it continues on Saturday, April the 4th from 11 to 5. And then the parade is going to be Saturday at 2 p.m. And there'll be an Easter sunrise service at the Great Passion Play on Sunday, April the 5th at 7 a.m. And they're also asked to join the Baptist Fellowship Hall for their Easter parade from 1 to 3 on Saturday, as I mentioned. They'll also have complimentary hot dogs and popcorn while the kids take part in some crafts. Mr. Holyfield talked about the Eureka Springs Cemetery Tour. It's a guided 60-minute tour that's offered every Saturday at 11 a.m., April through September. And then we have a fundraiser for ESSA 26th annual fundraiser. And it's an all-hands celebration for anything going on out at ESSA from 3 to 5 on April the 4th. And then on the 38th, those of you who missed your ride is coming back. That's the UFO conference. So if you got left off here, they'll be back April the 10th. So be sure to get your tickets to leave again if you want to go. That's going to be starting, they'll be leaving, I guess, or dropping people off at the Best Western Inn in the Ozarks. So we may get more than we leave. And then we have Angelo and his drumming starting on Saturday the 11th from 6 to 8 in the Basin Park. And then Inspiration Point Center for the Arts presents The Sacred Veil, a spellbinding and deeply moving musical experience Sunday, April the 12th from 2 to 4. And that's going to be out at the Inspiration Point Center for the Arts. So if you haven't been out there, that's a great facility. We're just so fortunate to have it there. It's a great opportunity to see this. And then the Eureka Springs Music Arts Awards organization, in collaboration with the city advertising and promotion, invites the public to an afternoon of glitz and glamour on Sunday, April the 12th at 3 p.m. for the City Auditorium for their second annual, I think, Music Awards. So, and that's all I have, and I will take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All right, all in favor, stand up and leave.
Aye. Deal.